y'all. We're going to talk today about tongue bite. I got a pipe packed here. This is one of my Missouri Meerschaums. This is called the Great Dane Spindle. This is a good pipe. Inside, I got Two Friends English chocolate. This is a Virginia Latakia broken flake. Tastes like cocoa dust. So what is tongue bite? Well, in the pipe smoking world, if you're puffing along on your pipe, and you can be puffing too vigorously, you get this feeling on your tongue that's sort of like a tingle, almost sort of like a hot white feeling. It can be to the point of uncomfortable, maybe even painful. That's tongue bite. And it can be caused by many things. But that's what people are referring to, pipe smokers are referring to when they say tongue bite. It's like I say, almost uncomfortable feeling you get on your tongue from smoking your pipe. And lots of things can affect it. But I feel like one of the main issues with tongue bite, one of the main causes of tongue bite, is one of the problems that plagues pipe smoking and new pipe smokers a lot of time, and any pipe smoker really, is smoking too fast. That can give you tongue bite. But it's not just that. It's a whole lot of things. It could be one thing, or it could be a combination of things that can cause tongue bite. Smoking too hot, smoking too wet, smoking too fast. Any one and or all of these things can affect it, can cause it. Another factor is your mouth chemistry. That can be a big part of if you have issues with tongue bite, if you feel tongue bite. What kind of how your mouth chemistry is made up and built. It has to do with how you taste things and things like that. That can affect it. Sometimes certain toppings on blends can cause tongue bite, where you would be fine if it was just the leaf, but the topping they put on there, even though you may love it, it may taste great, you can get too much of it, and it can cause some uncomfortableness on your tongue, the tip of your tongue. And that's another part of it is when you're smoking your pipe, that little hole that the smoke comes out of at the bit, the end of the bit, right here, it's called the button. This part of the pipe. It's very little end part right here, and that little tiny hole. That hole is directing and funneling the smoke right into that tiny spot on your tongue. And if you're the kind of smoker that likes to hold your pipe in the same place, and that smoke is continually hitting that same spot, that can cause it, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it. It's shooting it right to that one tiny area. And so you see how that combined with, if you're smoking a particularly maybe wet blend, it's going to smoke hotter anyway. And just say maybe you really like the blend, and because of the topping, it's also got a topping that maybe can burn hotter. it's wet. Let's just say that it's got a certain leaf type that maybe affects your mouth chemistry. See all these things in that blend, that blend could bite you very, very badly, and you'll say, "Wow, I can't smoke it. I can't smoke it. I can't enjoy it." Um, you know, I will say that's never happened to me. I've never had a blend bite me that bad, and I've never had tongue bite to the point of pain or anything lasting. I would say one smoking session. I'll say that I have blends that I really enjoy, and I can tell when I get done that I've been smoking. My mouth has a tingly feeling, not just my tongue, but my inside of my cheeks and all that, and that's just from the constant puffing and holding the smoke in. But it's just because I like it so much. But it's not something that's ever bothered me. Certain combinations of leaf can cause it. Can have no problem smoking burley in Virginia, but you throw some Oriental in there, and then it causes the Virginia to burn in such a way that it gives you tongue bite. Where you go back to just burley in Virginia, and you're fine. You make it smoke burley and Oriental and be fine. But the combination of the three, it just does something to inside of your mouth and to your tongue, and you feel it. A lot of the old pipe smoking ads, which I just love to look at, I can just spend hours looking at them. They advertise tobaccos and blends that burn cool. You know, this blend burns cool. It's a cool smoking blend. And a lot of times, what they meant by that is that it burned cool, which meant that you could puff it more and could enjoy it more without it biting you. Basically, is what they were saying. It smokes cool, therefore you can puff it, and it won't make you uncomfortable. If it burns hot, if the smoke is warmer, it's going to affect you faster. You're going to feel it. In the first quarter, first half of the bowl, you're going to feel it. So you want it to burn cooler. You want a blend that burns cooler. And some burn hotter than others. And you just have to, on those blends, you have to just smoke slower. So, for me, as a pipe smoker, I'm here to say tongue bite is no big deal. It's not something that you should be worried about. It's not something that should keep you from smoking or hinder you in any way or intimidate you. Um, it's no big deal. What can you do about it? Well, one thing you can do is you can smoke slower. Um, if you have tobacco that's really wet, even though you might enjoy it in that goopy fashion, that's fine. But if you were to dry it a little bit, it may smoke a little better, it may smoke a little cooler. That might make it where you can puff it a little faster. You can drink some water. Uh, that's something you can always do if you're feeling that little tingling feeling. Uh, rinse your mouth. I almost always have some nice, fresh, cool water with me when I'm smoking a pipe, and it just helps to kind of cleanse your palate and just keep your mouth cool. Another thing it does, it's nice, cool. That's ice water there. It keeps your mouth cool. That's gonna help with tongue bite. Um, Another thing is, like I was saying about the bit being directed right at that point on your tongue. Um, Move the pipe around. If you like smoking it right here, and you puff and puff, and that smoke's hitting that same spot, after a little while, move it. Move it over here and hold it there. And that's going to give this side of your tongue a break, you know? Sometimes I'll put it in the center. This blend has some good Virginias. And I've had this um, English chocolate jarred up for mm, probably a couple years now. So it's got some age on it, and the Virginias in here age really good. It's a broken flake, um, and I really enjoy it. Yeah, just move the pipe around. That way you're not shooting um, that smoke, that warm smoke into that same spot over and over and over. Just move it around a little bit, spread it out. If it's really a problem, if it's making you uncomfortable, if it's something you're noticing, you're just like, man, I just don't like that. I don't like the feeling. It's not that bad. It doesn't hurt. It's just, I don't like it. Put your pipe down. Just take a break. That's what you can do. Listen to your body. If your mouth's telling you, hey, this ain't cool, we're not down with the way this is feeling, take a break. Just put your pipe down. And I mean, in the same sitting, just take a little break. Give it 5 minutes, give it 10 minutes. Let your mouth cool down. You know, um, I, I hope that nobody's in this boat, but I'm sure there are guys out there that are like this. If you have to, avoid certain blends. If a blend bites you because of the topping that's on it, if it's too uncomfortable for you to smoke even though you like it, just don't smoke it. There's a bunch of different blends out there. You can always find a blend that's comfortable for you. And that's one thing guys do is they smoke blends until they find one that tastes the way they want, smokes cool, doesn't bite, and they can smoke it all day if they want to. That's part of the thing about finding that that fabled blend that you might be after is having one that doesn't bite, along with all these other things that you're looking for. So if you got one that's biting you and it's just a hassle to deal with, don't smoke it. There's so many blends out there. That's one great thing about the pot smoking hobby. Um, I'll say one other thing about about tongue bite is something you can try to do to combat that is trying the breath method, smoking your pipe with the breath method. Along with doing so many other things, it will help with tongue bite, if nothing else, other than helping you to develop the proper speed and cadence to smoke a pipe. And I actually have a video on the breath method. Check that out if you like to. But you use the breath method to smoke, and that could slow you down, make you smoke cooler. If you're having a problem with tongue bite, it might help. So yeah, again, I've never really had a bad problem with tongue bite. When I was a new pipe smoker, it's something I experienced just because, you know, I really at the time didn't know how to smoke, and I was puffing hard, I was puffing fast, and that's how you get it. But I've never had any kind of lasting, uh, uncomfortableness in my mouth from smoking. Um, I've never had a blend that I couldn't smoke because I had tongue bites so bad. Now, I will say that uh, the more blends you smoke, the more you're gonna figure out what you like and how it does you. And there are blends that affect me differently, and I have one that does bite me for whatever reason, and that's Edward G. Robinson. That's one of my favorite blends. But for whatever reason, if I puff it too fast, which I'm prone to do because I like it so much, which is, again, that's tied into it. Part of it. It could be tongue bite is blends that you really like and you just freight train them. But with Edward G. Robinson, I know I have to keep my cadence in check. If I don't, I can get a little bit of a tingly feeling on my tongue while I'm smoking, and it's sort of the kind of thing that snowballs. If I notice it's there and I don't take heed to it, and I don't slow down, every puff it can get worse and it can get worse, and I just have to slow down. And I know it's not a problem. It's something I'm aware of, and I know that it may happen, and so I just watch my cadence. But you know, there are certain blends out there that you may find that do that, and if you find those blends, you just have to deal with it. I love Edward G. Robinson enough that I'll power through that. It doesn't bother me. It's not a problem, you know. Yep, tongue bite's no big deal. I hope it's not a problem for any of you guys out there. I really appreciate y'all watching this video.